Please have a seat. As we have announced before suspending this session, this public hearing, judges are going to ask questions to both parties, applicant and the respondent, and you will be given some times for the responses. We start with Justice Ben Saoula.
Sorry, French. French is, I think we need to put this on.
I hope the interpretation is okay this time.
No, it's not okay for him.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Bon après-midi,
Attendez, juge Ben Saoula,
Non,
on
c'est-
vérifie.
c'est-
Ok,
c'est
allez-y,
bon.
vous pouvez continuer.
donc moi j'ai deux questions à poser aux défendeurs. La première question est la suivante. Face à une certaine ambiguïté, j'aimerais bien avoir une chronologie détaillée et précise des faits. Une chronologie détaillée et précise des faits. Pour la deuxième question, dans la passation des marchés publics,
Excusez-moi, juge Ben Saoula. Il me semble qu'il y a des conseils qui n'ont pas de quoi noter des choses.
It's not on.
Ils ne peuvent pas entendre. No, they don't have earphones. Allez-y, juge Ben Saoula.
oui, merci Monsieur le Président. Donc moi j'ai deux questions à poser aux défendeurs. La première est la suivante. Devant une certaine ambiguïté, nous aimerions bien avoir une chronologie détaillée et précise des faits. Pour la deuxième question, dans la passation des marchés publics, pouvez-vous faire une esquisse claire des étapes de cette passation en insistant sur le moment dans lequel l'approbation de l'Assemblée est requise? Je m'explique. Est-ce que cette approbation se fait après le choix du contractant et l'avis du comité puis de la commission centrale, ou au début, c'est-à-dire après le choix du projet à exécuter, donc objet du futur contrat? Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Is it okay?
I'm very sorry, Mr. President. I would, with all respect, crave for a little bit of clarity. The first one is detailed and accurate chronology of facts. Is it in respect of the whole case or in respect of a certain aspect of it? And which aspect?
Okay, she will clarify. Juge Ben Saoula.
Oui, merci Monsieur le Président. Quand je parle de la chronologie des faits, c'est-à-dire comment la procédure contestée aujourd'hui a commencé. D'abord, le problème du contrat, comment ce contrat a été réfléchi, comment il a été exécuté, et à partir de quel moment les problèmes ont commencé jusqu'à l'étape actuelle, jusqu'au dossier actuel. It's okay?
Yes, that's fine. And then, with respect, the PPA, the clear procedure when the approval of the assembly is given. Do I understand it to be when the approval of the Public Procurement Authority is given to a contract? Parliament, very well. That's under the Constitution. Very well, that's fine. Thank you. Yeah, sure, that's fine.
My questions go to the respondent. You stated here before the court earlier this morning that even if the Supreme Court of Ghana had erred in its judgment, it cannot share that judgment with any other court of other countries. And you quoted Ernest Mutungwi, in this quotation. So I just want to find out what you mean by this, and where does the African court come in this context. My next question is, you also mentioned before us that the applicant came with his suits because of a new government in January 2017. And it's because he knew that his safety was over. What do you mean by this? Could you please clarify to the court? My next question is that in your response to the applicant, you state, among others, that this case spans a period dating from 2005 to date. It has seen 3 different changes of government and 4 different heads of state, and contains a lot of inaccuracies. Please inform the court what these inaccuracies are. My final question is, you allege that the applicant was subsequently paid the whole amount of Ghana said 51 million, contrary to the terms of the order of the High Court. Please inform the court which specific order this is. Thank you.
Thank you, Justice Miller. Justice Mukamuliza.
Yes, please. So, President, sorry. The
Okay.
first question.
Okay. Justice Mukamuliza for the first question.
Monsieur le Président, l'Assemblée que les partis éclairent la Cour sur l'organisation et la compétence judiciaire du Ghana, tout en spécifiant en particulier les conditions de la saisine de la Haute Cour et de la Cour suprême. Merci.
Is it okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Very grateful.
Justice Menge.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. C'est OK. Merci. Merci, Monsieur le Président. La question que je devais poser vient d'être couverte par ma collègue portant sur l'organisation judiciaire du Ghana. Mais néanmoins, je voudrais savoir combien de fois la Cour suprême a été saisie et par qui. Merci.
Vous dites dans cette affaire, en fait. Ah, ok. Pour être in this matter.
It's not right. Yeah.
Est-ce que vous pouvez clarifier?
This
The
matter.
question was how many times the Supreme Court has received such cases.
She says this matter, this matter.
This matter.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, let's
From the
clarify.
parties.
Yeah.
From these parties, I think.
Excusez-moi, ma question concerne cette affaire précisément. Combien de fois les partis ont saisi la Cour suprême? On a parlé d'une saisine pour le contrôle de la constitutionnalité, on a parlé de la révision, et ainsi de suite. Apparemment, il y aurait eu d'autres saisines de la Cour suprême.
Okay, thank you. Justice Matsuse.
Yes, I take the question to be that which court in Ghana is seized with jurisdiction to hear human rights actions? Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, sir. I take this to, of course, as Honorable Justice said, it's a follow-up question. So, if we are asking whether it is the sole reason why the applicant did not go to the High Court because of the alleged bias of the Supreme Court. Yeah, okay. Well,
Okay, thank you. Juge Benachou.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Question pour le requérant. Pouvez-vous nous indiquer, s'il vous plaît, par ordre chronologique, les différentes requêtes que vous avez formées au plan interne, en nous précisant d'abord la juridiction devant laquelle l'action a été introduite. 2. L'objet exact de chaque requête. Et enfin, la décision prise par la juridiction saisie. Donc la question comporte 3 volets: l'ordre chronologique, la juridiction, l'objet de chaque requête et la décision rendue par la juridiction. Question pour l'État défendeur. Nous vous prions de nous indiquer quels sont les actes juridiques. Quels sont les actes juridiques susceptibles d'être déférés pour contrôle de constitutionnalité? Est-ce que les contrats peuvent être déférés pour contrôle de constitutionnalité? Et enfin, quelles sont les personnes susceptibles de saisir la juridiction chargée du contrôle de la constitutionnalité? Est-ce que c'est clair? Ok, merci.
Thank you. Juge Guisset.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. J'ai 2 questions. La première est adressée au requérant. La seconde à l'État défendeur. Au requérant, dans le contrat qui lie l'État du Ghana à vous ou à une société, quel a été votre rôle et votre place? Avez-vous été un contractant direct ou un sous-traitant? Pour l'État défendeur, j'ai cru entendre, sans pouvoir être affirmatif, que la décision de cette Cour pouvait ne pas être exécutée par le Ghana. C'est d'ici je comprends bien. Est-ce que c'est cela? Si oui, que le Ghana n'a pas ratifié la charte et fait une déclaration d'acceptation de compétences. S'il vous plaît. Merci.
Je crois qu'il s'agit de la ratification de la charte et du protocole portant création de la Cour.
Oui, la charte et du protocole portant création de la Cour. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Yes. Juge Niugeko.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a question to both parties and a specific question to each party. The question to both parties is as follows. The applicant has made reference to one contract, while the respondent state has made reference to two contracts. We would like to have clarification from both of you on what is what and on which is the relevant contract in the present matter. Questions, is it okay? So far. Questions to the specific question to the applicant. We heard you saying that the matter was pending before the High Court, but later on, we also heard you saying that the applicant never went before the High Court. Could you just clarify what is what again? Because we heard the two statements at various times. Second question to the applicant. With respect to the reparation, you didn't orally substantiate your claim, and you didn't indicate whatever evidence supporting your claim for reparation in terms of what is in paragraph 197. Could you clarify that as well, whether you have some substantiation and some evidence? Questions to the respondent state. We heard you saying that the constitutional jurisdiction in the respondent state legal system is different from the human rights jurisdiction. And yet, it might be well possible that the Constitution guarantees human rights. So, could you clarify this distinction against the fact that the Constitution might at the same time guarantee some human rights? Second, clarification to the respondent. We heard you saying that in 2013, the High Court has acquitted the applicant, while before the Supreme Court has made a judgment in the same matter. Could you clarify in particular whether the Supreme Court had previously condemned and sentenced the applicant and later on the High Court acquitted him, or whatever clarification is relevant? Finally, to the respondent, we also heard you saying that the applicant should have gone before the High Court, but at the same time, you have already said that the Supreme Court has an exclusive jurisdiction in constitutional matters. Can you, in the same way, clarify what is what in this regard. Thank you, Mr. President. I hope questions are clear.
Thank you, Justice Nyogeko. Vice President.
The first question I have is directed to the applicant, and the question has to do with the argument by the respondent state that the applicant could have raised the issue of human rights violations before the Supreme Court, either in the ordinary bench or in the review process, because the Supreme Court can assume the jurisdiction of any lower court. Now, the question then is, was the applicant heard during the review process at the Supreme Court? And did the applicant raise any human rights violations during the review process? Before I move to the next question, is that clear? Counsel? It's clear?
It's clear.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, actually, if you just nod, it will be good enough. When I ask whether it's clear, you can just nod. I will understand. Thank you. All right, learned counsel for the applicant, I have another question. And this has to do with your assertion that Justice Doche was biased and lacked impartiality during the hearing of the ordinary bench, but also the review bench of the Supreme Court. Now, apart from the instances that you quoted, you refer to, where Justice Doche said that the applicant had created an alliance to loot and share, is there any other pieces of evidence that you have placed before this court? And if Justice Doche was biased and lacked impartiality, what about the other judges? Or is it your argument that all the judges were biased towards you? And of course, the same issue about the evidence or proof, you can also indicate to us whether you have placed any evidence of that before this court. Yes, please. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, my last question is directed at the respondent state. And it follows the question that was asked by Justice Chisumila, Justice Gise, and also Justice Nyongeko about the place of a judgment of this court within the Ghana judicial system. And the assertion that you said that the Supreme Court cannot share sovereignty with another body. And the question is this. In your pleadings, you have said that Ghana has not domesticated the protocol establishing this court. And the question is, what is the relevance of that outside of the domestic system? And the other B of that question is whether you are now telling this court that you can invoke internal law to justify failure to perform treaty obligations. Whether you can invoke internal law to justify failure to perform treaty obligations contrary to customary international law. Whether you talk about the Vienna Convention or the law treaties or generally, well, in any event, the Vienna Convention incorporates what is already customary international law. Those are the questions that I have for both parties. I hope it's clear.
Thank you, honorable judges. It's assumed that the other party can comment on questions directed to one party. Okay. So then we will suspend the court, and we resume. We give you, I think, 1.5 hours. So we come back. Yes. Okay, so 5:15 we come back. Okay, thank you.